Hello everyone, my name is Cheryl and today we're going to be doing a very special and unique project. It's jewelry made with eggshells. So what you'll need for this project is a paintbrush, some little wooden dowels. If you don't have wooden dowels, just some ordinary paper cardstock, and some jewelry wigs, some glue, paper towel, nail polish or acrylic paints. Also a wet cloth, and that's about it. So let's get started. Now the important thing here is that you do need to get some raw eggshells. If you do not want to use the raw egg, the eggshell from the raw egg, you can always boil the egg and then peel the eggshell off. But the important thing here is you will notice on the actual eggshell there is a very thin membrane which is attached to the eggshell. You must remove that membrane, as you can see. And the reason for that is that could actually cause disease if you do not do so. So do remove the membrane from the eggshell. Once you've done that, you do not need too many eggshells, just a couple, and we can get started. So in this particular case, what I've done is I have already cleared the membrane from these eggshells. They're nice and clean. And what I have done is I have finished some of the items so you can see the various stages that we need. Okay, so I have these little round discs, little wooden discs. If you don't have little wooden discs like this at home, you can always just use cardstock, as I mentioned, and you can cut out a nice round ring or a square, whatever you would prefer, and you can just punch out your items with a little punch if you have one. If you don't have a punch, just cut it out, as I said, with a pair of scissors. Okay, so what we will do is we would like to use some nice tacky glue. You can use school glue as well if you prefer. And the first thing you're going to be doing is putting down some glue onto your piece of wood or on your cardstock, as I mentioned. And just liberally put it on so that it adheres all the way around. And once you've done that, you just take your eggshells. Now remember, your membrane or your skin has already been removed. Put your eggshell down and just squeeze it onto your glue. And you'll notice that it cracks at random intervals there. That's great, that's what you want. Just fill up the whole area and push down your eggshell. Now, if it overlaps the side, that's great because you can always cut it off later. Okay, so keep on going around the edge of your craft until you're happy that you have covered the whole area. Now, as I mentioned previously, do not worry about the edges showing because we're able to cut those off quite easily once it's dried with a pair of scissors. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like once it's done. I have already pre-finished that for you. And you notice it's nice and solid, even with a cardstock. Once it's actually dried up and you know, set, then it's nice and solid. And I have already cut the edges and smoothed them out. So what you can use is either nail polish, which is what I've done in this particular case. I've used two types of nail polish. I've used the blue and the green speckled nail polish, or today I'm going to be using acrylic paint. So what I want to show you is how to actually paint the background of your acrylic paint onto your items. So I'm going to use a background of green, and this is important. You want to make sure that you paint the back side first. And you'll probably need 2 or 3 coats of the paint, depending on how you would like to do it. And then you paint the top side. Now you'll notice it's going all the way through to the paper underneath, and it's also covering the eggshell. Now I just want a background of green. So what I'm going to do is just remove with a paper towel the paint that is on the actual eggshells. So just a dry paper towel and remove it, and you'll notice that the green stays on the background and your eggshell comes out white again. Once you've removed the excess paint, you can always just use a wet cloth and wipe off your eggshell. Okay, so you've got a clear base again to work on. Now you can choose another color to actually cover that with, and you can do a nice complementary color. You can either do a darker green or a lighter green. In this case I'm doing a light green, and then I'm going to blob these pretty little items with the glitter onto the top. Okay, so let's do that. I'm just going to do a little bit of light green just to change the color tones slightly, and we're going to let that dry. Okay, we can come back later and add our nail polish if we like, or just some ordinary glitter glue also if you have some glitter glue, and we can just add a little bit of glitter onto that just to give it a little bit of a color differentiation. And we let it dry. Once it's dry, we're going to put some varnish on it, and we're going to make sure that it's nicely sealed. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to move over to this one. What I did was I put a black background with this particular one, and I am going to use my blue and my green varnish for that nail polish. So what I'm going to do is paint that on first. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just lightly paint it on. Smooth it off. Get the color tone that you want. Put a little bit more on, let it dry. And then you can add some green over that. And that just gives you a little bit of a difference in your color tones when you're making your earrings. You notice I also painted the back in black. Okay, and you let that dry. You'll need another coat, as you can see, so that it can match this dried one. Now you can also make yourself a nice little pendant by taking a piece of wood or just a piece of cardstock as well, and you can do the same and make yourself a pendant like that so that it matches your earrings. Okay, so once that is dry, you're going to take a little earring piece and you're going to make yourself a hole about the diameter of that. Get mom or dad to help you with that, or somebody else, and you just slide your earring piece through there and clip it on, and there you go. You've got a beautiful little earring. And there's your second piece over there. So I hope you enjoyed this project. One thing I did forget to mention is you must use some glossy varnish over it to protect your item so that it does not peel. If you're using nail polish, it generally will not peel because it's a nice solid form of covering. But if you're using acrylic paint, it's always good to use a good glossy varnish over that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project, and we look forward to seeing your new inventions and also some very nice gifts for some friends of yours. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.